So recently I started working on a post-apocalyptic game about plants. You might be wondering, why? Well, I don't really have much experience making real games, just prototypes. So before I start working on the big game again, I'm making a few small games. And this is one of them. I started by reusing code from the big game to create a simple platformer. I will be reusing lots of code from older projects and refining it since I want to develop sort of a framework that'll make development of a big game much easier. As you can see, the player is a little plant that can walk. I then added this background from another old project. It's a procedurally generated background that's basically just a sine wave and some noise. I'll be using it instead of drawing a background since my art skills are, well, not the best. This background actually looks quite nice. I might use it for the big game. It took me a while to get the colors right for a post-apocalyptic environment. This is the closest I got and I guess it works. Anyways, after that I added in a simple patrolling enemy. An insect that wants to eat our little plant dude. It just walks around and if the player gets close, it starts chasing you and hurts you and kills you. I then added boundaries that prevent the player from going too far left or right. Basically, they're invisible tiles. There's also the void, which is just a Y coordinate, which if the player is below, he will take damage and die. I also added our second enemy, the absorber. It's a plant with little things coming out of it that will suck you dry if you step on them. After that I worked on having multiple levels in the game, and here it is. The transition between levels is just a simple fade. To complete the level you have to get to the level finish entity, which is just a plant for now. Then I worked on something which I have never done before, a main menu. Surprisingly, it turned out alright. I don't have a name for the game yet, so I'm just gonna call it Plant Game. If you click the start button, it takes you to the first level. Now how this works is quite simple. In my main script where I have the game class and the run function which has the game loop, I added a function for the main menu which has its own game loop. And when you click on the start button, it runs the game. I made good looking buttons for the start screen. The only ones that work are start and exit. Last thing I did is add a level select screen between the main menu and the game. Now that is it for now. It'll probably take 2 or 3 more devlogs before finishing the game. I promise I won't drag it out for more than a couple months, since it is just a small project. Also, I'd love some suggestions on what to add to the game, but remember, it's supposed to be a small game. Alright, goodbye.